Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. I'm your host, David Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits. Today's show is titled How 5G Will Reinvent Working from Home. Since the beginning of the 21st century and even the latter part of the 20th century, the job market has totally changed. We are moving away from the 9-to-5 job, and we're moving towards remote working where you work from home for a company. What does this do for the company? It allows them to cut their overhead. Plus, what does it do for the employee? It gives them more tax breaks. Plus, it gives you the freedom to work hours that you want to work rather than having to be somewhere at a specific time and dealing with traffic and stress and all the things that cause health problems. Why are we talking about 5G? Because with 5G, and if you remember back when Steve Jobs came back to Apple, what did he do? He proved with the iPhone that people will carry and pay to carry a mini computer in their pocket where they can be in touch almost all the time. Therefore, what that did is that reinvented how we did business. But 5G is the speed at which the little phones or your modem for your Wi-Fi works, which increases the speed on your computers. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your employee is? No doubt they're working somewhere. Thanks to greatly improved internet connectivity and workforce applications, employees or an increasing number of professions can work just about anywhere they want. In the home, at the coffee shop, on a plane. And chances are they're more productive and more engaged than they would be if they were in the office. They may even be planning to stay in your job longer because of their flexible work location. In 2017, Stanford economics professor Nicholas Bloom, in a TED Talk, went so far as to call work from home potentially as innovative as the driverless car. And why is that so? Because when you look at how technology has changed how we do business today, you look back at the beginning of the 20th century, what was going on? You had an influx of Europeans into America, and what did they do? They brought their home skills with them. And whereas in their small villages, they would actually go door to door to deliver their wares, what they did in this country was they would set up push carts on street corners so that the people in their neighborhoods can come to one location and buy. Today, that's the mom and pop stores, and it's also because of the internet, we've become a global environment, and we've become full circle because we are still doing those little mom and pop stores, but it's being done through e-commerce on your computer. If if you notice that we talk about Black Friday, where people go shopping for Christmas, but then we also talk about Cyber Monday. And what do they mean by Cyber Monday? That people are online shopping. And you find places like Amazon and Best Buy's. Any retail store has an e-commerce store online, and people are buying. And every year, the number increases. Now, work from home is itself about to be disrupted by the coming of 5G and its ability to enable virtual reality anywhere through what's known as XR, the combination of extended, augmented, virtual, and mixed reality technologies. Fifth generation 5G communications networks with their exponentially faster connection speeds, capacity, and communication response times known as latency will make possible any astonishing range of innovative and new products and services. And what we're also talking about here are those little artificial intelligence known as chatbots. And what do we mean by chatbots? Well, a chatbot is a computerized way of having, when you visit their website, interaction with you without actually having the person there talking to you, because they've already keyed in the questions to ask and the possibility of different types of answers. And if someone answers one way, this is the response they get. If they answer a different way, then this is the other response they would get. So artificial intelligence is also playing a part in how we do business today. As history has shown, new opportunities abound when wireless connectivity becomes faster and costs less. Watching HD video on a smartphone could only have been made possible with the shift from 3G to 4G, just as surfing the web went mobile with the jump from 2G to 3G. Now, the shift from 4G to 5G will fundamentally change how, where, and when, and what way we work. Think about it. The faster the speed, and when I had my computer and bought a new one, what I did was I went with 16 gigabytes. Why? Because that's the speed at which it goes up. Now, I didn't realize that if my hard drive was an SD, then it would come up even faster. But eventually, that's what I will change, and it will give me the size at which I need to be able to do my work faster. And all of these things, technology, the internet, everything has allowed us to do things at a faster pace. Just look at, and if you look back at even the beginning of the 20th century or the 18th and the 19th century, just how innovative each generation became and how different knowledges and the technicality of the inventions of the things that have happened. When Benjamin Franklin invented proved electricity, and then you had the advent of the light bulb, what did that do? That allowed you to work more hours in a day, because prior to that, you either did things by candlelight or you did it by sunlight. And once it went dark, and when you look at the fact that the days get shorter as we go into December, then after December they start to get longer up until June, and then they start So your light in the amount of light that you have on a specific day based on your natural light, based on the sun, it varies. So how much you are able to work. And remember, the farmers, by doing daylight savings time, it gave them more light in the evening to get the plants and the food planted along the way. So when you look at it, things and technology really affect how we do business today. Imagine being able to interact with a full-size digital twin of every place and thing that exists in the physical world, all from a home office. A plant manager in Seattle can immerse herself in a factory in Vietnam. She can see, hear, feel, even smell the shop floor. Avatars of executives can appear in a conference room anywhere in the world. Doctors can even assist with surgeries in faraway hospitals operating remotely using immersive 3D holograms beamed right into the home or offices. In other words, while basic internet access allowed work to be done remotely, XR and 5G will allow work to be done truly virtually. Consider our work from home arrangements today. Employees can perform a wide range of jobs remotely, including accounting, computer programming, graphic design, engineering, database management, corporate communications, and market research. But none of these jobs requires the employee's actual physical presence of the manipulation of physical things like equipment, vehicles. For that, you need the kind of capacities that 5G and XR can provide based on our research and years of experience working with major clients to grow their talent. We see 7 ways 5G and XR will change the nature of work. With 4G, and we got the invention of platforms like GoToWebinar, Zoom, and you get Canva where you can create your thumbnails and your pictures and create the things that you need to really spice up your website and really do the marketing. With 5G, everything is going to be going faster. And guess what? That also gives you the opportunity to create and do business even while you're on vacation. When you set everything up with a chatbot where it interacts, then you don't have to be there when a customer comes and buys from your e-commerce store. You can sell almost any item, any service from wherever you are today. The notion of the workplace will become increasingly fuzzy. Historically, how and where we live has been dictated by where we work. 5G and XR will allow many of us to perform almost any aspect of our jobs, including those that formerly required physical presence or physical tasks anywhere, truly freeing us to live anywhere. Unlike telecommuting, which brings us to the workplace from remote locations, 5G and XR will bring the workplace to us. Today, in fact, you can go to any temp agency, Comcast, Apple, Amazon, all of them go through temp agencies and post their job openings. Then what the temp agency does is if you see a posting, then you register to take a training class that you pay for before you can actually get online. And what that means is you go to the website of Comcast, of Apple, of Amazon, and anytime a call comes in, it gets rerouted into your home, and you interact with all of the customers. This has been going on really for the last 15 years, or actually, if you look at it, this is 2020. Well, the beginning of the 20th century was 20 years ago, and that means for the last 20 years, we've been migrating to work from home and work remotely. So, as you can see, where you are today and how 5G plays into all of what's going on, then it's allowing you the opportunity to create for yourself a work-home play balance. Because if you've got young children, you can take time to be with them. But remember this, if you're working from home, have a door on your room where when you are at work, you put up the hours and you let people know, or you let your family know you are not available. Only around those hours can they come in. And if you choose, you can pick a time when you have young children that you know they need your attention, and you can take that as a break and then make sure that they know when your next break is and not to interfere until that time occurs. Specialists and even executives may work for multiple employers. Surgeons or other medical specialists who are currently tied to a hospital or physician's practice and limited to a single geographical area could conceivably be employed by many hospitals or practices around the world. We might even see the day when talented executives with an ability to virtually present for a meeting in New York and another meeting minutes later in Hong Kong work as a salaried employee for 2 or more companies simultaneously, and more professionals and specialists of all kinds can become freelancers, in effect entering the gig economy. What are we talking about when we're talking about freelancers? Well, for one thing, this is an example of what I'm talking about. Previously, before the internet, a professional speaker, they had to have a media kit to go out and market themselves. They made their money by going from city to city when they worked with the training company to present. Well, today, all they have to do is get on the internet and use a virtual room where they can conduct webinars. And not only that, but then they can make their webinars evergreen so that when they market it and they have ghost attendees, as well as the attendees that were there previously, then they can make it look like it's live and interactive and get the people who are on it now to be interactive with what's going on. So with 5G, all of that will become even faster and more possible as an avenue of creating more and more opportunities for you as an individual to work. And think about it, as a global economy, and companies all over the world are no longer renting physical spaces to conduct meetings, but they're actually doing it virtually. And if you are one of the top speakers, and you know exactly how to market to these companies, then you can be their keynote speaker and be physically there even when you're not there. It really fits into the economy and the way business is being done because everything has been changing constantly over time. Working virtually could be as good or better than being there. The Seattle-based manager of Vietnam manufacturing factory will be able to realistically walk through the plant in real time and examine any aspect of its operations at any level of detail with an XRX ability to put operational data and diagnostic controls at her fingertips. She will be in an even better position to do her work than someone on site who lacks her augmented capabilities. And what are we actually talking about here? What we're talking about is that things are becoming 3D. And what does that mean by 3D? That means that with everything that is happening, you can actually physically see things as in the right dimensions, and you can see exactly where the problem is and exactly what needs to be done and how to make those changes. Think about it. Today, every corporation has an app, and that app can be downloaded to your smartphone, and you can do business. Today, if you get a check, you don't have to physically go to the bank. All you have to do is take a picture of it and deposit it right into your account. Companies that train their people to use and be augmented by technology will perform better. Large companies like Walmart, AT&T, JP Morgan, Chase, and Amazon are equipping their employees by thousands with new skills for a new era filled with artificial intelligence, blockchain, quantum computing, robots, and XR and 5G as they undertake their new important retraining work. They will soon do so with a new advantage. 5G and XR in particular will make it possible to train workers anywhere, anytime, on a global scale, and with a degree of realism that will be indistinguishable from easier experiential learning on the job at the job site with such reskilling made easier by technology itself. Companies will find an important value proposition if they equip their people to leverage all the new techs and the augmented it by, they will ultimately perform better. If you're one of the top trainers in technology, by using virtual rooms, you can train anyone from all around the world. You can be a company in one country and have affiliates or distributors all over the world that work for you independently, that help you sell your products. When you need to do training, you need to interact with them. You need to keep them up with what's going on in the company and how things are going to be changing. And this is one of the best ways that you as an individual can, and the entrepreneur and owner of your company, can keep your employees or your distributors or your affiliates abreast of what you're doing and the changes that are about to occur. Companies will have to figure out how to maintain virtual cultures As fixed places for work diminish and in importance, maintaining a desired culture will become increasingly difficult. Global companies have long faced a version of their challenge across borders, but in the future it will become pervasive. Even the smallest units of an enterprise, the flesh and blood encounters become increasingly rare. Companies that figure out how to create the best value propositions for workers will win as more people have the opportunity to work for multiple companies simultaneously. The very relationship between corporations and employees will be dramatically changed. How should compensation and benefits packages be structured? What about retention strategies? The reality is, companies that understand how to leverage new technologies to create the best value propositions for people, including perhaps letting them work for other employees simultaneously, will be the ones with the best people and therefore will win. The challenge then becomes how to structure employment contracts to get the most high performing employees. And here's what I want to say about this. If you look at the entertainment industry, the fact that we're now moving into streaming online shows that entertainers either do shows that are on the streaming networks, or what's happening is that past shows who have been on before on the networks are now being streamed, and you get the combination of the live shows that are also being streamed. The actor wants to be able to earn and get some of the residuals that are being earned by the networks by also having the streaming. So you're seeing that contracts are changing, and how they're changing is how it's going to benefit you in the long run. Burnout and abusive work environments could multiply because 5G and XR will enable many employees to perform almost any of their duties anywhere, anytime. They may be tempted or expected to be on the job around the clock. Those who work for more than one employer could be doubly squeezed, taking on too much and serving two or more highly demanding masters. Today, the 5G XR world seems to lie over a distant horizon, but when the availability and power of both technologies reach the tipping point and converge, the way we work will change radically. Companies will race to build business and operating models that use 5G's capacity and XR's immersiveness to create competitive advantage. As we do so, they will innovatively transform the workplace in ways that will challenge our concepts of work, and the remote work capabilities will be utterly transformed. These are things that it's up to you to understand. And remember, you can go to my website, and that website is the #1 personalcareercoach.com, and we can sit down with you and help you plan out how you plan to do business in the future.